How's it, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Exponential Africa. I'm your host, Mann, and we are focused on bringing you the very best in thought leadership, innovation, and technology from around the world to Africa. Today, we got a very special show. We are looking at this convergence between artificial intelligence and blockchain technology as it's set to really disrupt and change the financial industry in ways that we can't even imagine. And we've got a special guest with us here today. We've got Karine Arama, who is also known as Kay. She's got an illustrious career, 20 years in investment banking, with some highlights featuring being at Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, RBS, you name it. She's been at that bank and leading the way across international exposure in key financial hubs like Paris, London, and Singapore. In 2015, she embraced her entrepreneurial spirit and really transitioned into the venture capital world, where she had her horizons of Internet of Values, also was the chief operating officer and head of investor relations. Currently, she's at SGH, which is an investment strategy firm primarily focused on AI as tools to screen and track companies, representing a novel class of venture funds. And really looking at how do we embrace this blockchain future that's been enabled into the financial system. And it's really special to have you joining us today. Welcome, Karine.
Thank you, Mick. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me first. I'm glad to be here. So much looking forward to the summit later this year. So let's just start.
Brilliant. And you're coming in today from Paris, right?
Totally. I'm here in Paris. It feels like winter, but I had a chance to be in Lisbon last week with 30 degrees, so I'm full of energy.
How was that? Did you go to the NFC summit?
I was at the NFC summit, which was very, very vibrant as always. Focusing obviously on some of the applications of the blockchain technology in the more creative space. Like art in particular. We've seen some amazing things. For the first time as well, there was a big focus on meme coins. So you see that these meme are starting to be like a segment in itself, which is very new. So that's fun, and it makes sense because it brings this reality that how much community matters now, to the point that you can have a meme just for the sake of building a community. So obviously you're going to have everything and nothing within the meme coin space, but some project really made it and have been able to attract and reunite like people around the world. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually watched a little bit of it on YouTube, and there were some crazy meme characters that were speaking in some of the talks. They were all dressed up as these crazy characters. I think it's got quite a unique. It's actually going to have quite a profound influence on as everything becomes tokenized, we're going to see more celebrities, more communities jumping into their own sort of memes, their own communities, and drive up those ecosystems.
Yeah, true. I thought about this like meme coins recently, and I was also thinking that possibly it's consciously or unconsciously a reaction to the slowly but surely regulation entering the space. And when you think about ETF, on one hand, obviously it's amazing for the people that are not like mastering the technology and are not sure of how to navigate the space. So this is good. But for the people who've been here from start, some have the feeling that they've been like somewhat they've been stolen or their own technology. So the meme coin is going to the extreme, really back to the people again. So that's funny. You have many different current within this big ecosystem.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. I saw Caitlyn Jenner just last week or the week before she launched her own coin, and that's become quite a big story. The Trump MAGA coin is really, really killing it at the moment.
Yes.
This is quite interesting as we go into this American election.
For sure.
Um,
That's going to be crazy. That's going to be crazy. I'm really somewhat excited to see what's going to happen around the election with crypto and blockchain. And somewhat I'm feared as well. That's going to be
could go
interesting.
anywhere. Yeah. Let's dive into the discussion around VC, and you had quite an amazing career. Do you want to just tell us a bit of your journey, in venture capital, and why did you from central banks, being in central bank space so long? How did you see it evolve over the time of your tenure, and what inspired you to transition into VC?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I started in banking because on markets, because this is really something I wanted to do. Long time ago, I've watched the movie Wall Street, and that inspired me. And I was at the time when obviously you didn't have many female in the space. So, I said that to my mom, I want to work on markets like in this movie. And she said, well, are you sure? And so this is it. Like fast forward, I'm at Goldman Sachs, and I remember very well this very first day when I'm out of the train station, Wall Street, and I'm like, yeah, bro, I made it. So yeah, very, very cool, long ride on markets, focusing on, different things. I mean, different type of clients and different geography, but always fixed income. So I've been pretty much like all my career focusing on interest rate market, but moving from a European institutional base to in London central banks, which was very, very exciting because it was right at the time of the financial crisis. So, you are really in the hot spot at that time in 2008 to 12, 15, when you have normally the crisis, but also all the QE that go with it globally. And that helped me and helps me today to have a very high level view on venture capital in terms of asset classes and where the money goes from one asset class to another. But then after that, I completely quit the industry and set up a coaching business, which is very, very different, like fitness, lifestyle, nutrition, very different, but still client facing. So somewhat some skills were transferable, just the industry was different. And for sure, coaching is also contributing to what I do today when it comes to talking to founders on a regular basis and having a good understanding of the psychological aspect of it. So that's that. The next step was the startup, and then again. So at that time, I'm back from Singapore, and I'm like, okay, now what? And I have a friend calling me saying, "Oh, you need to meet with these guys. You're gonna love them. Blah blah blah. They're gonna love your energy." And what is it? I'm like, "What is it? What's the topic?" And they're like, "It's blockchain technology." And that's 2018. So that was quite early. It was not like the super early, but it was like right after Ethereum. So really the second wave where the vision was like so strong. It was like a religion. I started to deep dive into this technology. And I felt like, oh my God, this is the very first time that money and finance is going to be disrupted for real, since moving from barter to money. So I saw that as being huge for financial assets more than internet. I built this very, very strong conviction on the technology itself, which, never really left despite the bear markets, despite all the, what we're seeing as negative in this ecosystem. I have a very, very strong conviction on the underlying technology and the way it's going to disrupt all industry, one way or another, at different paces over the, next 10, 20 years.
Wow, it's so interesting.
So that's that. Yeah. So the end point is actually venture capital. So the end point is like, now I'm ready to invest. I have a good, overview of assets, understanding of clients, a good grasp on the technology, because this technology was really my focus when I started in VC. And obviously as we go, we broaden the spectrum, and now I'm focusing a lot, as you mentioned, on AI, but also on space, which is another era which is very exciting.
And I mean, what are some of the investments that you've done into blockchain and some of the notable?
Yeah, so we like to focus in general into infrastructure. So we will like to focus on kind of the boring, but very important tools that have to be here for this technology to deploy nicely over time. So we've been investing in what we call enablers. So the topics would be, compliance, accounting, how to track hacked transaction, for instance. So we've been investing in TRM Labs, for instance, which is a competitor to chain analysis, if you know, which is basically tracking transaction. We've been investing in DCG, the Digital Currency Group, which is a big animal, which is itself an ecosystem across a number of companies. And then so the fund is like 50% US, 50% Europe. So we've been focusing also on some like nice companies here, like Defense, DFNS, which is custody, so MPC, multi-party computation custody, which is a way basically to have a secure custody of your assets, but without the key, like without the ledger, if I may say, which is obviously much more friendly than using a ledger key. So again, focusing on the kind of the boring space, less funky, no apps, and no token as well. We've been very much focused on equity investment.
So interesting. I think, Franklin Templeton, one of the biggest investment firms in America, they recently just said, one of the most amazing technologies that's come out of blockchain is this financial instrument called crypto. That is set to disrupt the financial industry. So, I think it's definitely going to be an exciting space. From now, when as things are sort of changing and shifting.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if you had to think about just one thing, is that internet is a technology of copy. Whatever I send you, I still have it. I send you a picture, I have it. You buy a book on Kindle. It's not your property, it's a copy. So it's a technology of copy. Blockchain is a technology of transfer. This is why we can talk about a huge disruption of finance and money again.
I love it. Let's shift a little bit over to artificial intelligence. It's become the big buzzword. Everyone's sort of jumping into the space. It really is encompassing almost everything in our lives. And what attracted you to AI and blockchain, and how do you see these two technologies complementing each other, now and in the near future?
Yeah, so look, it's interesting because obviously AI is not new. AI, like artificial intelligence, the first time we heard about it was 1956. So it's an old technology, and we all remember for the one who were born, obviously, 15, 20 years ago, the focus on machine learning, deep learning, and artificial intelligence. So this is not new. And I would say what we remember from that time is exactly where we are now on the blockchain space in terms of time frame, right? So now what we've seen for the past 2 years, pretty much starting with obviously ChatGPT and others languages, is the B2C part of it. So it's like really the consumer part of it. And this is why the world is so excited, and it's like kind of addictive that we are using it more and more and more. I know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not even using Google anymore, to do my searches. So this is massive. Now, when you think about investment and how to invest in AI today for venture capital, the first question you have to ask is the level of innovation and the barrier to entry. If a number basically of applications are going to be very useful for the people, it doesn't mean that the first one is not going to be copied by 20 other companies in the next 6 months. So when you're in venture capital, what you need is innovation, and you need the company to be able to maintain that position of controlling its space, right? So if you look for innovation in AI, you have two solutions. Either the company has some form of control on the data, right? If the data is confidential, like let's say health or legal, and that a company can capture that, then there is value in it. The other part is if you find some areas of innovation, and for sure, blockchain and AI intersection is a huge area for innovation. And it goes two ways. It's like, how does blockchain technology contribute to AI deployment, and how AI contribute to blockchain technology acceleration?
Yeah, because I mean, I think if you look at actually the other day I was at well, actually 2-3 months ago I was at NFT NYC, and I did an interview there with a film crew, and the film crew actually gave me my interview as an NFT on Ethereum, so that it was time stamped. It happened at that location, and it
Very
was
cool.
totally immutable, and you know, it couldn't be faked because it was on the blockchain with that timestamp at that exact location.
That's right.
On that smart contract. So, you know, if you think about AI, it scales through being open, and blockchain is it creates trust through decentralization. So the combination of these two is, you know, is probably going to be the only way to understand if something is real or fake. Is it on a blockchain, on a smart contract from a reliable source?
Yes, yeah, totally. Actually, even more than you know, I don't like to talk about like both technology, like how to say, merging or joining together. I mean, each technology has problematic right now, and the funny thing is that the other one can help solving the issue. So basically, for instance, when you think about AI and all the fantastic things we see, what people forgot sometimes to think about is the cost of it. And the cost is as important, if not more, than the innovation is one thing, but we cannot ignore the cost. And you have cost at every level. You get cost from a computing resources aspect of it. You want to collect very large number of data, it's going to cost you. Either you have to buy the data set, or you're going to have to pay an access to the cloud. You need to hire data scientists, which is going to cost a fortune, because they're all, you're going to need PhDs. You need to retain them. Then you need to train your model, which again costs the cloud. Obviously I didn't even talk about the hardware part of it. Like you need to buy the computer and the chips and everything. And then comes the time you fine tune the model, you want to scale the model. So the costs are massive. And interestingly enough, at each level of, what we just went to go through, blockchain can help. So you already have now decentralized computing power. If you think about an example, let's say you're a gamer and you're using your computer to game, right? And you can control how much GPU you're using. Like, you're at 40% on average. Well, actually, you can rent the 60% to a marketplace and be rewarded for that. Right. So that's just thinking about a gamer. But like when you think about all the capacity not used, which can be rent on the marketplace, and you're going to be rewarded for that's pretty cool. And you already have a number, like probably, a good 10-ish companies who've been focusing on that for some time.
So you went out on the blockchain that your computer,
yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Powered on the blockchain that you can send out frictionlessly and just share that extra space and be paid for it.
That's right, through a token, the token of the project, right? Same for data storage. You now can find decentralized data storage like Filecoin, Aleph, which is a French project, Arweave, which is an old project. Again, marketplaces, data marketplaces. So again, at every level, you're gonna find. Well, you think about expertise. Now you have groups of data scientists organized under the form of a DAO, right? So basically, if you need more data scientists at some point, like you may need more bigger team during the training phase of your model, well, then you can go and ping this community of data scientists, which is decentralized, and they're going to be paid for improving the performance of your model. So again, a lot of cool stuff here. And the other way around, so you were mentioning security, so that's the other way around, like also how AI helps blockchain. They can screen smart contract, a lot of smart contract very fast. I mean, we have had this problem for the past 2 years, and it's not over at all about being scammed and hacked. So the people want to invest in token, but they don't know how to. They're scared. You're not supposed. I mean, ultimately, you're not supposed to understand the code to be able to understand to be able to invest in a project, right? So if this technology is for the people, it means it's for everyone, not just the devs or not just the people who can read code and check it, right? So that's where AI can help massively as well, just like auditing smart contracts, all day long. I'm not even talking about what's coming next in AI, which is an autonomous agent, which is where most large companies in AI are currently focusing on, and then we can envision autonomous AI agent in a decentralized world. So that's then you can go surfing all day long. You're gonna give a mission to the agent.
What I was gonna say.
Exactly. That's it.
Our agents would do this interview. They would
exactly.
Edit
That's
it
right.
ready for us.
Two avatars, and we're done.
The avatars talking. We've been cloned. And then I've got 3 of my other avatars doing 3 other meetings at the same time now.
Exactly.
And it's all recorded on the blockchain, so I know it was all me. It wasn't a fake me.
Exactly. I mean, we're laughing, but it's a real topic, because when you think again about the ultimate step, which is AGI, so artificial general intelligence, once want to think about the fact that can AGI be free in his mind, if not decentralized? So we could envision the fact that AGI has to be blockchain based and decentralized, or we're going to have problems
it's controlled by somebody.
Yeah, who has the control, who has the power. That's right.
It's a really interesting space, eh? Well, Karine, we're so excited that you're going to be joining us in Johannesburg in October. We can't wait to welcome you to South African shores.
Yeah, very excited.
Where could anyone find you? If anyone wants to follow your work, your investments, where should people out to reach you?
So obviously we have a website for the company, SGH Capital, which is very easy to find. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Telegram. Happy to share on my LinkedIn all my details if needed, or I'm sure you'll find them as well.
That's it, folks. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed that episode and you learned something new about VC investing and the future of AI and blockchain as they converge and create a lot of new opportunities for us. We'll see you next week, and make sure to like and subscribe. Cheers.